Just wanted to say a few words about the sad passing of Ehiogu this morning. I'm actually off to a funeral myself today, which this news has really come as a shock. Apologies if this is a bit raw, I haven't wrote anything down, so I'm just going to see what comes into my head and speak about who was someone who was a great player and a great man and a great servant to Aston Villa and a great servant to football as well. Hugo, I think when he made his debut at Villa, I think he had an absolute shocker by all accounts, but then he managed to grow into one of the best defenders I've seen pull on an Aston Villa shirt. He was an absolute man mountain, a real leader, and I think he was a gentle giant as well. I've seen a lot of people say that about him. He was just a really good player and a really nice man, and I think had he played nowadays, he'd have had 50 to 100 England caps. He was just such a good defender. Just unfortunately for him, he was around at a time when England had a lot of centre backs, but for me, he should have had way more caps than what he got, because to me he wasn't far off the level of Sol Campbell, who's obviously regarded as one of the best Premier League defenders going. I can't believe that this has happened, to be honest. I mean, to see the news yesterday that he'd been taken to hospital and collapsed at the training ground, I was shocked and saddened, and then to wake up this morning and see that he's left us, I just felt that I had to pay my respects, because he was a player that I really enjoyed growing up, a really real hero of mine. And me and my best mate used to go down, we had season tickets, and he used to get Ehiogu on the back of his shirt. He was just such a good defender, so strong. I always remember when the ball used to come down the line and he used to see it out for a goal kick. He used to always do what me and my mate called the Ehiogu shimmy, and I just have so many fond memories of him. He was part of the squad that got to the 94 Cup final, although he didn't play, but by the time the 1996 League Cup final came round under Brian Little, he was an integral part of Aston Villa, and that back three of him, Southgate and Paul McGrath, it was just really great to watch them growing up. And you always knew that we had a mean back line, and Brian Little always said he liked his defenders to defend, and that's what Hugo did. He was just a defender. He was such a good player. Obviously he had an outstanding career as a footballer, and it looked like he was going on to have an outstanding career as a coach, and then hopefully one day a manager as well. I mean, if you look at the young players that have come through Spurs, and he's been coach and now manager of the under-23s, that'll be in no small part to do with Hugo. He'll have been a massive part of what Pochettino's building there, and he deserves to take an immense credit for how Spurs are doing. So he's a sad loss to Spurs as well, and I wish everyone at Spurs the best and send my condolences to them as well, because this is obviously going to be a real tough time for them as well. And I'm really deeply saddened by what's happened in the news waking up this morning, and my thoughts and all the Villa View's thoughts are with his family and his friends at this time. I think he actually used to live not that far from me, and I saw one of my mates put on social media this morning that his door was always open. Kids could always go around, knock on his door and ask for his autograph and have a chat with him about Villa, and I think that was the case. He was just a true gentleman, and it's a massive loss to Aston Villa Football Club and a massive loss to the game.